right, Nikita Karmen is here. Nikita Karmen's new album, The Garden, is out today. It's 9 songs. How pumped are you that you finally have a big collection of music that's out for people to have?
I am so excited. I mean, I pretty much just listen to myself anyway on my phone, and I'm like, people get to listen to me too now.
Let me play some of Pirates tonight. This is track 1 on Nikita's album, The Garden. So you wrote this with Walker Hayes and Josh Jenkins. How long ago did you write this one?
I actually wrote this one in quarantine, so we wrote this over Zoom.
Was that weird for you to write stuff on computer?
Yes. I know some people really like Walker really likes it. I hate it still.
Because why?
It's just like everyone kind of stands there awkwardly and you kind of don't want to talk over people, but it's like you can't really read the room.
Yeah.
But I've written a couple of songs I really like over it, so I can't complain.
Nikita's from Australia, and I know you went back home during some of the pandemic. But what was crazy was watching your Instagram, you fly over, which is fine, but then you actually can't get in the country unless you stay in a hotel for 2 weeks with no contact at all, right?
Yeah. It was so strange to like land and like there's like army people in the army scrubs just like lead you out to on a bus and you don't even know where you're going until you get on the bus.
So let me get this straight. You get off the airplane, people in like army gear, as you would say, army scrubs, they say, okay, come with us and get on this big bus with these other people.
Yeah.
And you don't know where you're going?
No.
You don't know the hotel you're staying in?
No. And then when you're on the way there, they be like, hey, you're staying at the Marriott in the Darling Harbour, that's where I was staying, which is a 5-star hotel, but you don't really get 5-star treatment.
So, did you have to pay to stay there for 14 days?
Yes.
Like the hotel rate?
Not the hotel rate. It's just like a fixed rate of $3,000. I'm still trying to get out of it. So the New South Wales government's going to chase me down.
So you stayed there, didn't pay, and then flew back to America, basically.
I will pay for it eventually. I'm just waiting for this album to blow up.
Yeah. Then you just have money growing out of your ears.
Yeah.
So what do you do for 14 days? And do you have Netflix? Do you have room service?
Yeah, I mean they supply all the meals, but it's kind of like airplane food, but probably worse.
Could you order food though if you wanted it?
You could order food, which I started doing because like the first meal I got was a bagel and cream cheese, which doesn't sound horrible, but it was like frozen still. So I like called up the desk and I was like, do you guys have like a toaster or something I can put this in? And the person was like, we assure you everything's completely safe to eat. That was the response. And she goes, it might not be how you like it. I was like,
do you feel like they treated you like a lower class because you didn't check into the hotel because you wanted to stay at their hotel, but because you were kind of forced into there?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you kind of, it feels so weird. Like even getting off the bus, it felt like kind of like getting off the bus in prison. What I would imagine that would be like, because people were walking past the bus and they quickly walked away from us and put a mask on. Like, don't go near them. They're probably infected.
Were you working the whole time that you were in your hotel room writing, or did you just kind of get so bored that you didn't know what to do?
Yeah, I tried to start writing stuff, but the walls were kind of thin and I felt like the people next to me were going to like hate me if I kept singing the same thing over and over again. So I ended up just starting Grey's Anatomy again from season 1 and then just playing my Nintendo Switch, really.
Were you so bored?
Surprisingly, like the days went pretty fast because I would sleep until like midday. So then by the time I'd gotten up, I was like, wow, half the day is almost over.
But then you would be able to go back to sleep at night?
Yeah.
Jeez. Here is track 2 from Nikita Karmen. This is some of her song, Better.
Looking back at all of that, I think it's better. That we didn't know, no we didn't know, that we didn't know better. That we didn't know, no we didn't know, that we didn't know better. When I'm back home, I think we
Your mom and dad were musical.
Mm-hmm.
Their band was called Hotel Berlin, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I met Nikita's parents. I went over to Australia and met them. Did they want you to do music?
They never really pushed it, actually, because both of my sisters also sing. And kind of growing up, I was talking to my parents about this when I went back home, how I was like, I remember you used to tell me I was the worst singer out of the lot. And my mom's like, well, you were.
Are you the best now, or are they just both still that good?
No, they're both good. I feel weird saying I'm the best now, but I'm like, I guess like my older sister did it professionally as well. But
In
she's-
Australia?
Yeah.
What was she doing professionally?
She was playing in the cover band.
Okay.
And I was always like the writer though. So
You were playing at a pub whenever I met you. You were doing two things. You were playing at a pub like on the weekends and evenings, but you were doing photo editing
yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
And the first time we had talked, you were actually working in the photo shop. But when you would play a pub in Australia, like what does that look like? Are people eating? Is it a bar? Like what is that?
Yeah, it kind of depends when you would play. Like I would play on Thursday night and that would get pretty rowdy. I have a funny story. I've had people throw coins at me.
To shut up or to play something?
Well, I think they were tipping, but Australians don't know how to tip. And then I've had people like gargling just milk in front of me, and people just told me to be quiet so they could hear the football behind me on the screens. But
They would play football. Is that soccer to you?
well, it's rugby.
Okay. Wow. Man, football's three different things. Okay, so rugby over the top of you while you're playing?
Yeah.
That's a bad situation for you to be in.
Well, it looks like people are looking at me at least.
Yeah.
They're not.
So you're playing music while they have rugby over you at times. Is that one of those jobs, though, where you have to learn basically every cover song just so you can continue playing?
Yeah, I mean, it was a 3-hour gig, and I would play some of my own originals, but you have to play stuff to get people actually listening to you. So, there's just like all the pub classics that really go off in Australia, like Torn by Natalie Imbruglia, like stuff like that can't really fail.
What are the pub classics? Give me the top 5 pub classics.
Ooh.
Natalie Imbruglia, Torn. If you had to go to and you're like, I know this is going to get them back, what do you play?
Wonderwall by Oasis.
Always.
That will
It
get
doesn't
'em?
matter what age. Everybody loves Wonderwall. That's 2.
What else would I do? I would do.
We got all day. Yeah, and to hang out. I'm curious to know if you're like, all right, I know this one really well.
Yeah.
Let me get back into this one.
Save Tonight. I would always do that one.
Eagle Eye Cherry,
Mhm.
solid. I'm gonna need 2 more from you though.
Yeah. See, Better Together by Jack Johnson always goes quite well. Jolene.
Okay, there you go. Jolene.
Oh, I did it.
Your 5th. Which the Jolene story is pretty funny as far as us together. Before I tell that one, I'm gonna play track 3 called 8 Houses from Nikita Karmen.
Crying out her eyes in the bathroom, saying that he don't deserve you. Back when everything was a really big deal. Back when we were hot as stone wine like a tattoo. Caring who cared in high school. Back when everything was a first time feel. Ooh, when something had to give, when we couldn't forget. The only thing I miss right now is we only have to walk 8 houses.
Jolene is funny to me because, and we'll get into how we met in a second, but you were on stage. It was your first time with the Raging Idiots. You were just singing backup because you had just come to America. And I was like, all right, let's see what she does. Right? Wasn't Jolene the song?
Yes.
Was that the first one you played?
Well, I played Somewhere With You by Kenny Chesney, and then that's what I
Oh,
was
that's what it was.
prepared- I
Okay.
prepared to do that.
I said, hey, I may call you up to the front, and you got your guitar, and you played Somewhere With You, la blah, la blah, blah. And then I told Eddie, don't walk out there. Because our show, and still a bit at the time, was so much improvisation that I was going to see, let's see if she can handle herself. Let's not. The song is over. Ever tell you the story?
No.
She just moved to America. She's with us. She walks out and plays her song, and I told the whole band, don't go out there. Let's just see how she does when her song's over. Just stay out here. And so the song ends, and the crowd claps, and then she's looking over, and we're not doing anything. We're just letting her see what she does. She takes her guitar and goes, "Doom," and starts going, Jolene, and it plays it, and the crowd's, ah! And I was like, oh, yeah, she's good. She's good to go. She's fine to be with us. Do you remember that? Do
Yes.
you know where we were?
Oh, I have no idea where we were.
Maybe
Everything's
like
a
Richmond,
blur.
Virginia. Or do you remember the night we were all in the back when we were doing, and I would walk 5, and we all blew out our voices.
Yes.
And it was the same night of the parachuting as well.
Yes, I remember that
wh-
actually.
Where they went into the theater and shot people,
Yeah,
killed people.
That
And-
was my first trip when I came to play with you guys, and I was like, "This is America."
Yeah, crazy, huh? I wonder if that was the first night. Is that the first night or the second night?
I think that was the second night.
Yeah. We, Nikita and I met because Eddie and I were doing Raging Idiot stuff, and I was like, man, I'd like to have a really strong female that's a little bit different. And so we had talked to like 30 females to be in the group, and none of them were like, to us, something that was, a little quirky, a little different, but still really good. And then finally, someone was like, "Hey, we have this girl in Australia, but she can't come. She's got to talk to you on like FaceTime or maybe Skype."
Yeah.
And so they're like, boom, and they put her up on the screen, boom, and she's like, "Hey, I'm in the hallway at my wedding photo editing place." And then she had her guitar and she replayed in the hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, dang. And I got to credit Gordon at Black River because I was like, hey, I would like to have her over here. And he was like, okay, we'll flew her over, and she stayed. You've lived here since.
Yes.
And that was 2015.
That was insane. And I remember telling my mom, I was like, so I'm going to go to America to go and meet a guy I met on the internet. But it turned out to be quite advantageous, actually.
Yeah, and I'm a pretty good guy.
It's true. We Wikipedia'd you. And Mom's like, yeah, I think he's famous.
So that situation happened. She comes here. Then we weren't doing the big shows, but you were opening and just killing in merch and selling CDs. People were just blown away by her. And I remember we had a talk, and I said, hey, I think you should start to do stuff without me. Like, start to do your own thing. So I'm going to give you the option. You can come and open for me for this tour, or you can go and do other things. So you can pick either way. And you picked not to open for me. And then like 2 months later, she was like, oh, crap, I should have opened for you.
You're not wrong.
Here is Came Close from Nikita Karmen.
And you came close, kissed me till I felt it in my bones, held me till the morning with my eyes closed. But I guess my heart knows something that I don't, 'cause I never felt in love, but I came close.
Your parents in that 80s band, Hotel Berlin, what success did they have?
Not very much. I mean, they had like fun. They weren't really like professional. They had some pretty amusing music video clips they shot in the backyard of our house.
Yeah, are they still, for fun, playing any music at all?
No.
None?
No. But I mean, my mom just sings all the time anyway.
Still, she good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you remember the first song you learned on guitar?
Yes, it was Sooner or Later by Michael Tolcher, and then closely followed by Hands by Jewel.
Do you still know them?
I don't think I would know Sooner or Later.
I don't even know what that song is.
No. It was
Is he Australian?
Sooner or later, we'll be looking back on everything. You always know every song.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
that must be a crappy one.
It must
I only
be.
know the ones that aren't crappy. Mike, do you know that song?
No, I can't even find it.
You have an identical twin sister?
Mhm.
How's Desiree doing?
She's good. She actually co-wrote one of the songs on the album with me.
Did you guys do that over like Skype or Zoom, or did you do it at home?
She just kind of like wrote like the start of it, and then she sent it to me, and I was like, look, the start of the chorus is pretty good. I reckon I can work with that. And then I ended up just changing a few things around, and then I didn't tell her it was going to be on the album until me and Walker cut it, and I was like, here you go.
So she'll make like $8. That's cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. US though would be pretty good in Australian dollars.
Is the money, if you have $10 here, what do you think it is in Australia?
Ooh.
Is it more than $10
Yeah.
there? Yeah. Are you a makeup artist?
Well, I am trained as a makeup artist back in Australia.
What?
Mm-hmm. It's just something that I learned for fun.
But are you a certified makeup artist? You got a certificate?
Yep. I don't know if it's like I don't know how like you check if they're like legit or not, but I did a class.
Could you do my makeup?
Yeah.
And it'd be fine?
Oh my god, I'd love to. I've been watching so much RuPaul's Drag Race.
I don't want that kind of makeup.
I'm dying to put makeup on a man.
You know who? No, I don't want that kind of makeup. You know who's been doing so on my Nat Geo show? We went out and we have a really small crew because of COVID. So we have our 9 or 10 guys that are on the crew, but you can't bring anyone on unless they have a specific job. Which I guess in the old Wild West 2 years ago, everybody could come on, party, have a good time. But they were like, hey, nobody can come on because of COVID. And so this show doesn't require a lot of hair and makeup, but sometimes when I'm getting dunked in the water or I'm hanging out over the Grand Canyon, it's not like they're paying attention to your makeup. But so I told Caitlin, I said, hey, why don't you come on as my hair and makeup artist? She was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, who cares? And so I was like, just put some base stuff on me, make me look good. And so for like the last 3 months, she's actually getting pretty good at it now, but she has been my hair and makeup artist. And now she does it for the Opry as well. And now she's like ordering stuff. She's watching YouTube stuff. And so now she's doing that. But if she ever goes down, I'm going to call you, but no eyeshadow. That's the only rule.
It's gonna be really hard for me to like not go all out.
This is not RuPaul's Drag Race. This record you did, you wrote every song?
Yes.
Was that important to you?
Yes. I don't really have any like interest in singing something I didn't write, mainly because the writing is my favorite part of the whole thing. So that was kind of super important.
Here is a Grey Goose. Before I play that, is Grey Goose about the alcohol?
It's actually about my boyfriend.
The one you have now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's just about meeting him in a bar, and I kind of just wanted like a fun, like bad, cheesy pickup line love song.
Okay, let me hear this.
The way you go down so sweet. Is it cool if I just call you Grey Goose? Grey Goose. You feel expensive, but you're worth every dime. Don't need no mix.
Walker Hayes produced the record, the whole thing?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was so much fun. I was like, I mean, when I've recorded in the past, it's been in big fancy studios, and we ended up recording all of this in his house, which was funny. He would stop me singing and be like, sorry, I have to tell the kids to shut up. And be like, please keep it down.
He's got a lot of kids.
Yeah.
6, right?
Yeah.
6 kids? Yeah, and you know, I did a couple songs with Walker back in the day. I did Namaste with Walker. And he's so encouraging. He's like, yeah, that's it. And really it wasn't it. But he was so encouraging that it made me want to do better. Did you find he was that way with you?
Yeah. That's what made it such a like easy and fun process, because it wasn't like everything was like had to be perfect. It was kind of just like just feel it out and see what sounds good. And yeah, and then he told me that he doesn't know how to do any pitch correction, so that kind of was a bit of an ego boost.
So you had to sing it right on.
Yeah.
I did an episode recently on this podcast about artists who don't like performing their biggest hits. Is it true you don't like performing Out of the Park?
Absolutely, 100% true.
That's her biggest streaming song, right?
I know, and I should love to play it, but
How many streams does Out of the Park have when you look on her page?
Well, I'm on a different thing.
Okay. This song I like this one still.
you do?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Had my share of losers, liars, bad one-liners, wasted Friday nights. Had
This is
enough
jam.
of
Why don't you like playing it?
I don't know. I feel like I sound so like different. I don't know.
When you hear you sing, there's no accent.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I put my accent in if I want something to rhyme.
Oh, that's an interesting technique. Maybe I should just put like a British accent when I want rhymes to happen.
Yeah.
Here you go, turn this up a little bit.
No games, crazy kind of spark. All I wanted was a good guy. No time for cheating in the dark. I was looking for a home run, good love to win over this heart, and you hit it out of the park.
That's a good song, right, Mike?
I like it.
Yeah, don't be a hater toward your old music.
All right.
You're basically Radiohead right now.
I'm coming back around to it. You're right, it is good.
Your next single is Own Roses?
Yes.
Yeah? Let me hear some of this.
I grew my own roses. Wasn't easy at the start. When you're not quite sure where home is, when you're growing in the dark. Always thought I needed somebody to lay my roots for me. But I found out in the lonely and somehow in the weeds. I grew my own roses.
The jam, huh? Why'd you pick that one as single?
Well, the title of the whole project is called The Garden. And that's from a lyric that is from the Own Roses. That's pretty much like I got the garden I deserved. And it's just kind of about my whole journey, like moving to Nashville and kind of starting from scratch again. So I just felt like that was the best choice. And it made me cry when I wrote it. So I thought that maybe people would also cry.
You made yourself cry.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever created anything that made me cry.
It's so beautiful.
Like what I just did is
I can't
so
believe it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Even when I wrote like my first book, there was really sad stuff in there, and maybe I would get emotional remembering the sad stuff, but I've never created anything that evoked. I've heard things, have seen things, but I've never created something that went like, that thing I just created touched me so much.
I mean, I cry really easily anyway, so it's not really like me clapping myself, to be honest.
Let me play the the song you and your sister co-wrote. This is Surprised from Nikita Karmen and Desiree King.
When it turns out like every time, just like every time, I won't act surprised. Side jacket.
I saw that some of the big streaming services were giving you some awesome spots. That's got to be exciting.
Yes.
Like I saw a big Spotify thing for you. That's super cool.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it makes such a difference when you release something and you like wake up in the morning and you're like, this is like put on playlists that maybe more people will actually listen to it.
Yeah. Maybe somebody hears it and goes, hey, what is that? Oh, cool. Let me put a heart on it and save it and then play it more. And then maybe they're a fan of your music. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you know I'm always putting you on the National iHeart Women Country
I know,
Show.
I get so excited.
Yeah. Have you ever heard it on the radio?
No.
Oh, you've probably been out of the country for a lot of that. Right?
Yes,
This
I've
weekend.
been.
It's on this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, let me just sit in the car and just listen to that.
There you go. And then record a video and be like, I'm on the radio. Yeah.
Yes, I have a good car now that has like a radio that works.
I saw a Jeep drive in here. He just kind of sat there for a minute. You're out in a weird spot in the yard, and I was like, is she going to drive over here?
I was thinking about it.
I guess I haven't seen you since I moved.
Yeah.
And so you drove here, and you're like, what's happening?
Yes, pretty much.
Fun fact, Nikita was the first ever episode of the Bobbycast, except that was an unreleased episode where we just tested the equipment.
Oh my God, I was going to say that when I came in. I was
Yeah.
like, I remember me and Ahmad were your first guests.
You and Ahmad did it together?
Well, he did one as well, I think. We were just
is that
both-
true?
I think so.
Well, we did. I mean, we just trashed it. We were just we were just seeing if the microphones worked. And so now here you go. You put out a whole record, and now you're on for real. You didn't want to go on the first time anyway. That didn't count. This is the real one. All right. Let me have one more song here. Why don't we play "Picture Me"? You wrote this one by yourself.
Yeah.
What's this about?
It was about my ex-boyfriend. Just,
Nice. What does your current boyfriend think about your ex-boyfriend and the song?
My boyfriend never pays attention to the lyrics in anything I write. I will send him like the most beautiful love song, and then I was like, "Did you like it?" And he's like, "Oh, I wasn't really listening."
Okay, here you go.
We don't have to talk, we don't have to talk, but can we just let the good shit be? All that you see, all that you see, all that you see. When you picture me, 18 and falling, picture me, 19 and calling, picture me, 21 and all in.
Do you send this to your ex-boyfriend and go, "Hey, I wrote the song about you. Heads up"?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, he would not want to hear this.
Do you keep up with him? Do you know what he's doing?
Not really. I mean, I saw him at a wedding when I went back to Australia, actually. This is when I went back with my current boyfriend, and his mum was there too, so that was fun.
Was it weird?
Yeah.
Is your current boyfriend bigger than he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. There you go. One final song. This is Then Some. It's Nikita with Walker Hayes.
I'll get over you and then some. Day I'll hear the song and I won't even thinking about you. Won't even be a double taking my rear view. I'll get over you and then some. Body's gonna love me like you did. Then every kiss will get me closer to closure. Trust me, I ain't just gonna get over you. I'll get over you and then
Hey baby,
some.
what's the truth? How you really feel? Smile on your face looks a little too real. I could call it when you bluff it, but I'm not sure. If you faking it, girl, you deserve an Oscar. Serve me right, taking you for
You have a greyhound? You have two now?
I'm fostering one.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah. He is an absolute nightmare.
Oh, we have a new dog. She's a nightmare too
Yeah.
right now.
I don't know, like, I'm not used to it either because, I mean, Pim's my other greyhound. She was a nightmare, but she was really, like, scared and shy, whereas this dog, I'm like, I swear this isn't a greyhound. This is, like, a Great Dane, and he just steals everything.
Well, congratulations. You got a whole record out called The Garden. It's out today. I hope you guys that are listening check it out. At Nikita Karmen on Instagram, Nikita Karmen. Nikita Karmen. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You glad to move to Nashville?
I am glad I moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I did that little audition over Skype for you.
Okay, there she is. Mike, anything you want to say?
Just play out of the park next time.
Yeah. Stop being such a snob.
All right, I'll play it. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. All right, there she is. Everybody check out The Garden. There she is, Nikita Karmen. Hey guys, it's Bobby Bones. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and then go check it out. A lot of artists, a lot of songwriters, a lot of music. Welcome to the Bobbycast channel.